guys. Welcome to the weekly SRS Liftoff call. My name is Frank Euphemia. We are excited to have Hayden Hill on this week with us. A little bit about this call. I mean, we strictly go over IULs and annuities every week. Every third week, we have a Q&A to give you all the platform, the ability to ask questions of things that you guys might need to know or are going through. Cool thing about what we have this week is, being tasked with trying to grow the annuity volume here at FFL, I've ran into a few speed bumps along the way, and one of those is trying to get agency managers to see the value of selling annuities in their agency. And flat out, I'll tell you, I've ran the numbers. Anybody that I've had direct to me in my organization that has written at least two annuities, so written more than one annuity, but two, has never rolled an ounce of debt to me. What that means is they help keep agents profitable. And some of the agencies, Hayden and FFL Limitless being one of them, has really seen the value in that and they've started. We're going to let Hayden go through what he's doing, but it's exciting to see an agency in 2023 do 1.8 million in annuities, and fast forward 2024 October at 12 million and counting, right, Hayden?
Yep.
That's why we do this. So that's super exciting for us, Hayden, and thank you for being helping the team, right? Because this helps everybody here at FFL if annuities are a part of what people do on a regular basis. So I'm going to shut up and turn it over to you and let you rip. But if you could go through what you guys have been doing to see such growth, it's super exciting for us, and thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on, Frankie. Annuities, I think the biggest, misconception with IULs, but specifically with annuities is, especially for new agents, is, they think it's really complicated. They think it's, advanced, like we used to call it. Well, now we call it simple because it is simple. And, to kind of start before I kind of go into the things, I'll just kind of share with everyone. When I started with Family First Life and I started selling my first year when I had Hall of Fame, the sad thing is the first 9 months of the year, I never asked the golden question. Meaning, I was protecting 40, 50, 60 families a month. I was sitting in front of hundreds of families a month back when it was in person. And because I thought I didn't know what to do, because I was nervous about, what if they do say they're interested? Like, I don't even know how to do an illustration. I don't even know how to, do an application. I flat out just didn't ask. And it was so stupid of me for not doing that. Well, fast forward the last 3 months of the year, I find a couple annuities. My first one is this, old retired teacher. And she's like, yeah, I have, $30,000, $40,000 in my old TSP, just kind of sitting there. I wanted to do something with it. The next one was a lady, and she goes, "Oh, that company right there on your binder, Athene. I have an annuity with them." I'm like, "Oh, no kidding." I'm like, "How long have you had it for?" She's like, "Almost 10 years." I'm like, "Oh, get your paperwork out." And sure as crap, it was expiring a month from when I saw her. So we just flipped it into another annuity, got her a new bonus, got her better growth, everything. So point is like Frank said, this year, our goal is $15 million of annuity transfers for our team. Last year, I don't even know if we did $1 million, to be honest. And I think the number one singular thing was we just were not asking the question. Now, over the phone, it's a little bit different than sitting with someone in person. So you need to make sure you ask more and more, because it's going to be, you're just going to need more at bats to get people that are interested, get them on Zoom, etc. But the one thing we've done is we just made sure, new agents come in, they go through the boot camp. Now they have to even be able to get the annuity contracts, but just go through that boot camp. So thanks to everyone who created that, because it keeps it super simple. And then from there, what we do is we just ask the question. And literally in your life insurance application or in your life insurance appointment, whether it's final expense, mortgage, IUL, whatever it is, it's just simply asking. Once we get down to, you ask them their medical questions, you ask them about their life insurance, and you simply ask them, "Hey, Frank, what do you have that acts like life insurance? Any old 401ks, IRAs, checking, savings, annuities, anything like that?" And most of the time people say, "Yeah." And from there, I'm like, "Okay, cool. Which one of those? 401k, annuity, IRA?" Old 401k. Okay, cool. And that's it from there. We keep on going with the appointment. After the appointment, whether we sell them or not, I'm going to then circle back around. Hey, Frank, before we get off the phone here, you mentioned you have that old 401k. I don't know if I mentioned this at the start, but one of the areas that we actually specialize in, especially right now with this crazy volatile economy, is protecting people's retirements, making sure their 401ks, IRAs, everything is safe, so you don't, lose your butt if the market corrects. And so, Frankie, the 401k you have, how much, money do you think you have in there right now? I think it's like 100,000. Okay, cool. Do you have any plans to protect that? Like if the market was to crash tomorrow and you lost all that, can you afford to lose, most of your retirement, or what are your plans for that? Most people say, heck no. Okay, cool. Hey, Frankie, most people say that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set an appointment either tomorrow or on Saturday. And what I'm going to do is basically get that $100,000, put it into basically a diagram and illustration that's going to show you exactly what it would look like. And hey, by the way, because the economy is so volatile right now, the company we use is giving people a 16 to 18% bonus, which is pretty cool to even get you started. And so would tomorrow or would Saturday work best for you for me to go over this for like 10 minutes? Saturday, okay, cool. Morning or afternoon, set the appointment. That's all I'm doing at that point. They're your lead, so you already have their name, you already have the state they're in, you already have their age, and now we know how much is in whatever retirement vehicle and what vehicle it is. From there, I still use Ask a Specialist today. I probably should learn how to do it on my own, but I still use the Ask a Specialist today. I love it. It's easy, keeps my job going. And so I just plug in that information into the Ask a Specialist. If you don't know what that is, if you go into your gateway right before you click the ILC and you order your leads and you see all the marketing, all this stuff in there, at the very bottom left, there's a little thing that says Ask a Specialist. You click it, you fill out the people's information. What I always do is I stick to what I know. And so, it depends on the situation, but 99 out of 100 times, the clients that I work with, the Athene PE plus 10, that's my go-to. I know the bonus. I know what states the bonus is in. And so I put in their head, can we illustrate a 7% and, give them the highest bonus they can with the Athene's PE plus 10. And, within 12 to 24 hours, I get the illustration. And then from there, I present it. So that whole process for new agents, besides asking the question, something that we've been doing this year, Frankie, is I think most new agents, they just don't ask, like I said, because they don't know. And so what we started doing is, hey, all you got to do is literally just find the annuity lead, set an appointment, and then you call me, you call Sheila, you call any of our top annuity producers in our agency, and you say, hey, here's the deal. This guy or gal is interested. Here's the information. Can you do an illustration? And then tomorrow at 2 p.m., we have an appointment. Can you get on Zoom with me? And can you kind of go through the illustration and explain what it is? Cool. And then from there, that specialist is going to basically fill out, the rest of the application and close them because they know what to do. We're at a lock-in this week. Christo Bolger had a lock-in this week. And I heard the craziest story, Frank. An agent had bought some internet leads in the CRM, like 50 cents, or maybe it was old final expenses, 50-cent leads. After a few weeks of working them, he was like, I don't know if this insurance thing is for me. And so he passed them off to his new agent and said, hey, here's some old leads. I'm not going to dial them. You run them. The kid calls one of the leads, a 50-cent old lead that he didn't even buy. He runs into a guy that has $800,000 in an old 401k looking for something to do. He's scared shitless of the economy in the next couple of weeks and the volatility that's going to happen. Well, one of our guys, Scotty, who is one of the best annuity producers in the company, shout out Scotty. He's like, hey, dude, it was his agent. Hey, dude, let me help you. And we can split it. I'll literally do everything. That new agent from a lead he didn't even buy made $50,000 commission from Athene the other day just because he found the lead and dished it to someone who's experienced. And so That is something that's huge. That's something that we've implemented where all you got to do is find it and then dish it to a specialist. We'll do all the work, we'll close it, and then you get a sick, commission. And the goal though is you should only need help for the first one or two. After you see the process of the first one or two, you should know how to do the illustration. I mean, you can teach a fifth grader how to do an illustration. You just go on there and start typing the stuff in and they'll do it for you. But the application, how to explain it, that stuff, that stuff is something that you learn over time. And so after the first or second, when you're giving up part of your commission to have someone help you, after that, you should never need help anymore for the most part, maybe a little bit of help, but you shouldn't have to even split that. You should be able to do it yourself. And so just having that system of duplication where, maybe John Smith, comes in as a new agent, he switches first when he learns. Well, now he can help his agents and so on and so forth. But honestly, I think it seems almost too simple, Frankie, but like with this stuff, we have to make it simple. And something else I'll tell you guys is, if you're looking at an investment or someone's trying to pitch you some opportunity or investment, I think Sean said it a couple times. And what he says, if it's too complicated, I'm out. Like if I don't understand it, I'm out. Just like our insurance sales guys, we have to remember if we start talking about, index funds and growth and bonus and withdrawal fees, like that's a lot of people, at least in the first appointment, that freaks them out. They're like, I don't understand it. So just keep it simple and realize that your job is to set the appointment. The illustration will sell people. Illustrations sell. You book the appointment, illustrations sell. They see the illustration, they see 6-7% projected growth. They see, the bonus. They see that they can take out, 10% a year more if they're over 72, 73 with the withdrawals. That is what sells it. And then from there, also we have a theme. A theme's amazing to be able to call their customer service reps, and they'll help you with anything you need from there. But for the 18th time, I'll just say, if you take away anything from this call, guys, ask the question. If you ask the question, most clients, there's nothing you can say to convince someone yes or no they want to do an annuity. If they don't want to do it, nothing you say is going to change their mind, and you're not going to sell them 99% of the time. But for the majority of the people that are just kind of like, I need help, I don't really know what to do, you ask the question, you find it, they're going to like the result once they see everything.
All right. So, and dude, I get this more than anybody. Like it's truly that simple. And I feel like people would look at you and go, no way. You're not telling us something. Do you guys talk about this on your calls? Did you implement it on your new onboarding stuff? How are you getting the new agents to ask that question? Because that's the $1 million challenge right now, is just getting everybody on here in every single appointment to ask that question. How are you guys doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you think about it, I don't understand why you wouldn't ask the question. And when I break it down, I'm like, you're buying the lead, so you already spent that money. So let's juice out the lead for as much money as possible. Another thing too, guys, is if you don't already know this, the more policies you get in a household, the better persistency you're going to have for the whole amount of policies in the household. So if you're like a hit and run final expense agent that you're too nervous to ask, which I was there, and you just have to get over it because you think it's going to ruin your sale or whatever. It's probably the same thing with referrals. If you're not asking the golden question, you're probably not asking referrals. And you start to think about, okay, how do I get better? How do I have more issue pay? How do I become more profitable? You start doing those things and it's crazy profitable. So I think one, is just part of our process, Frank, but I think two, dude, annuity money is sweet because 99% of the time, the people are not going to cancel their annuity. And so it's basically non-chargebackable commission you're getting. And I was actually talking to an agent, one of our managers yesterday. She's on the call right now. I see her, and she was saying, hey, like I've been in a slump the last couple of weeks, and I just came across a big annuity. She just wrote one like 20 minutes ago, actually, too. And I'm like, boom, that gets you back on track, because in this business and sales, guys, we're going to have ups and downs. That's just part of this deal. You're going to have a great week, a crappy week. And if you can throw in an annuity every, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, that's crazy profitable for you. And then as an agency manager, you're going to be helping your agents and you're getting paid too for something that's so simple that people overlook. So just ask the question. If you need help and you don't know how to deliver the question, and ask people for it. Something else that I do in my presentation, Frankie, if you want to, I learned this from Brad. If you guys want to write this down, basically I'll pull up the illustration, I'll go through, like the bonus, I'll go through the projected growth, I'll go through the 0% guaranteed rate if the world ends tomorrow and the market's negative for the next, however many years are on the illustration. Once I go through everything, what Brad taught me is people are probably thinking to themselves, this is too good to be true. So after I go through the whole thing, I get ahead of it and I say, now, Frankie, before we go into any questions you have, because I'm sure you have a couple, I'm just going to get out in front of it. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, this thing is too good to be true. You get to protect your money. You're not going to be susceptible to market losses. You're getting an 18% bonus. You can still access, 10% plus your money each year. You're probably thinking there's got to be a catch. And Frankie, there is one catch. I always tell my clients there is one catch. And the catch is liquidity. So if you're the guy that wants to, bury your money in a coffee can in the backyard and hide it and all that kind of stuff, maybe this isn't for you. And what I say by that is we can take out 10% a year with no penalties. The only way things like this hurt you is if we have to start getting penalized on our own money, which common sense, no one wants to do that. So Frankie, we went over 100,000. If you think, and with the bonus, 118,000 is what it's going to start at. If you think that you're going to need to take out more than $11,000, $12,000 a year, about 10% of the account, then what I would tell you is, hey, instead of 100, maybe let's start with 75 or 50 so we don't have those penalties. But that's the only way. And I know we talked about it, Frankie. You said that's totally fine. You're not going to mess with anything. But I just always tell clients, this thing it's not like going to the bank and open a checking or savings account where everyone that can fog a mirror can do it. You got to qualify for this stuff. And part of the qualification is we got to make sure that the amount of money you're moving over, we're not going to get penalized and take over 10. As long as you don't, we're totally good. This is a great fit. But I would just want to point that out. And when you get ahead of that and say that, it makes sense to the client. And they're like, okay, cool, 10%, I'm not going to take that out. Versus if you don't really say anything, I found that most clients are thinking to themselves, like what's this guy trying to sell me on? It sounds way like how does everyone not already have this? And so it's kind of like the takeaway, but also letting them know, hey, this is the deal, this is the plan. As long as you don't do this, this is a great product for you.
Yeah, I mean that's priceless, and I do think a lot of people don't go over the downsides of an annuity, and you have to. But in my opinion, and not in every case, but in most cases, a lot of cases, the upside outweighs the downside tremendously. The fact that they can't lose a dime, and guys, don't forget it's a 401. Most of these, what percentage do you think, Hayden, of the annuities y'all do are qualified?
I would say probably 90+%.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So meaning that the money hasn't been taxed yet. So that money's not meant to just splurge on, because whatever you take, you add to your income, you're paying taxes on. So the reason and the way they're structured to be used is taking small systematic withdrawals over a period of time to subsidize their Social Security. So it almost, even though the liquidity isn't good, it almost protects people from doing something stupid, right? Um, so you're a Performance Elite guy, and have you guys written any of the F&G Performance Pro yet?
We have not, but I need to look into it. I heard it's pretty good.
Oh, and it pays a little more too.
That is
Yeah. Yeah, that's a golden. All right, let me see if we have any questions in here we can get you to answer. Guys, if you have any questions for Hayden, we got about 10 minutes left. We'll fire away. If not, we'll wrap it up. This is good. Sometimes you don't have to go 30 minutes. I did see one. If you find somebody that has an IRA they don't like and it's only 10 grand, what do you do?
Yeah, so I would say for me personally, 10 grand's probably my like minimum. Typically I like to have it a little bit higher. But hey man, I'll do a $10,000 one, make a couple $100 and keep the persistency in the household. And what I'm gonna do too when I do that is I'm really gonna hit on trying to gather referrals to turn that into more sales. But then also like I had a lady yesterday help one of our newer agents out. I've helped her a couple of times now, and she loves it because she just dishes it to me. She gets paid, and I do everything for it. The client was like, "Hey, I just sent it in. It was a $15,000 one," and she's like, "I'm saving my money so I can do another one in March or April." And so some of these small ones, not everyone has $500,000 to do. Maybe they have 10 or 15. Well, now because you can have as many of these as you want. So what I try to do is, like I said, try to gather referrals to get more of their family, friends, and write them policies. But then also kind of set up a schedule where it's like, hey, twice a year, once a year, we should try to get another 10, 15, 20 into another one and just keep on going, keep on getting the bonuses, keep on getting the growth. And so, yeah, I would say 10 is probably my minimum. And then like for younger people, if it's under 10 and maybe someone's like in their 30s or 40s, they're a little bit younger. What I'll probably do is I'll probably pivot at that point and say, hey, let's look at an index universal life. This might be better for you and give you more value than just this small little annuity will, at your age. So
For sure. Um, so and I John Gavin did answer this, but I want to get your take on this as well, because I get this question probably 10 times a week. Are there annuity leads, or do you just turn regular leads into annuity prospects?
yeah, so I've tried a couple annuity leads that were like 200-300 bucks a pop. I've had a couple guys on my team. They're doing the same so far, at least. Frankie, you should create these because these would be awesome. So far, those super expensive leads that are annuity focused, they don't really pan out. And so, what I typically, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think one, when someone is looking for something like this, they're also talking to a ton of different people about something like this. And one of those people might be the dreaded financial advisor that we got to go head to head and battle and do that. And so for us, our experience, we've had the most success, with leads, just life insurance leads. And it's same thing. It's just asking every single time. You'd be so surprised. I mean, like I said, that 50-cent lead that turned into an $800,000, Athene annuity the other day, that happens. And then you can have your $80 brand new mortgage protection, and someone's like, yeah, hey, I want to do it for $10,000. So you never know, but if you just ask the question, you're going to find the money. And honestly, when you do ask the question, you find the people that want to do it. It's almost like the easiest sale ever, just because they're so interested and they just want to move forward.
And they already like and trust you.
Right.
Just makes it super simple. This is a good one. Whoa, where to go? Okay, if a 401k is eligible to roll over to an FIA, the 401k stays. Oh man, no, that's an answer. Never mind. David Allen's answering that. Never mind. I don't need to go on that. So if you're going to send an Ask a Specialist, I'll answer that. Let's see. So if you're going to send an Ask a Specialist form, what carrier should you be contracted with besides American? This is a really good question. So what do you guys do as far as contracting for new agents and annuities?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's there's only one way to do it now. Like there used to be a couple different ways. Now there's one way. So you get your life carriers, and then from hopefully you're going through like a starting agent boot camp. I'm sure everyone is. After that, go through there's an annuity boot camp and there's an IUL boot camp. And when I went through those earlier this year, I think is when they came out, Frank. I thought I had known a lot about both those products. And dude, going through those and seeing like the screen shares, the illustration, this is what this means, this is how you structure it, those helped me so much. And so whether you're new or you've been here for a while and you haven't gone through those, go through the annuity and IUL boot camps. And to answer your question, Joshua, you got to go through the boot camps anyway to even be able to get contracted with those carriers. So knock those out. Once you get done with the boot camp, send the screenshot, the certificate to your admin, and then from there, yeah, for us, there's three that are our go-tos. Athene, I would say, is most of our business. And then F&G and NLG, those are the other two, depending on, state and what, type of annuity they need.
For sure. Laura has a question. If a client has a financial advisor and a Roth IRA and standard IRA, as well as fixed annuities set up for lifetime income, would you recommend talking about adding another annuity by converting one or part of the IRAs? He said he has approximately 1.9 million. Laura, you can call me on that, but Hayden, if this was one of your brand new agents, what would you say?
Yeah, so I would kind of do some more fact finding, Laura. What I would find out is what kind of annuity it is. I would bet that it's a variable annuity, which means it can go up and down. And so whenever I'm faced with a financial advisor type of situation and I go through it with the client and they say, let me talk to my financial advisor or something like that, I would say, hey, Laura, let me ask you a question. You've been with your financial advisor for how many years? 10 years? Okay. I just met you today and we went through your life insurance. What I always ask people, Laura, is if you've been with your financial advisor for 10 years, why has he not already talked about keeping your retirement safe? And unfortunately, Laura, what I find out most of the time is financial advisors get paid a lot of money for the assets under management they have. So as long as there's money in there, they're getting their fee. For me, I don't work for free. I get a small fee on the front end, but after that, I'm not making money on what your money does. And so my goal is to get you in something that's going to be long-standing and grow. And so that's always what I ask them. And then something else that we have is I don't know what carriers that financial advisor has. Maybe they do sell fixed index, but what I'll tell you is the Athene product with the bonus they have right now, with that NASDAQ index fund that I think Scotty was just telling me it was voted the best index fund for annuities last year or top two or something like that. We have a pretty good, machine on our end to combat whatever they have. And so I would just fact find, maybe talk to them about that. And then from there, get the job done.
One, and your fee doesn't come out of their money,
Exactly.
and theirs does. And dude, financial advisors that write fixed index annuities still get paid as asset under management. So have you ever seen that on the Athene? Like, have you ever? So they get paid differently than we do, and it definitely does come out of their money. So, in my opinion, you can't, you know, at a certain age, and listen, everybody's so nervous about saying best practices and saying and doing the right things. You can't convince me that at a certain age, the index annuity is not the best plan for everybody, because you can't lose any money, and they're not working and they can't afford to lose any money. So, all right, this will be the last question. Oh, wait a minute. David
And
already answered that.
I'll say one more thing,
Yes,
Frankie.
please.
Guys, I think when we're selling IULs and annuities, even life insurance, sometimes when we oversell it as the best thing since sliced bread and everything should be, everything you have should be an annuity or everything you have should be an IUL, it kind of freaks people out. What I always tell, because like I see all this stuff on social media and the market sucks. And I'm like, dude, the market's at like 23, 24% this year. Last year was a really good year too. So the market's doing really well. Like I look at it every day. So when you talk about these things, it's a piece to the puzzle. So like that lady, Laura, you said, for example, that has the IRA, the 401k, and the annuity, a fixed index annuity is a piece of the puzzle of a well-rounded financial plan. It's not to solve everything. And I think if you talk to clients about IULs and annuities that way, of hey, this is kind of like the safe account. It's going to grow, it's safe, it's tax-free, all those kind of things. It gives people more confidence rather than just saying, oh, you have these 401ks and IRAs and you have this and that. We should move all of it, because sometimes that kind of spook people off.
First, John Gavin and I had this conversation this morning, literally about that same thing, and I agree with you 100%. So, all right, guys. Well, this was incredible, Hayden. Thank you so much for not only hopping on and sharing with us, but for helping grow this volume. It's a big deal, and I think the more people we get doing it, the more profitable everybody will be, and you actually service your clients. I mean, like you said, service your clients. And if you do,
Oh, I think Frankie might have froze. All right, well, I'll take it over. Thank you guys for getting on. The replay will be up on here. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. Reach out. The SRS team, have them do your illustrations, have them teach you. There's so many things. Do the boot camp. And the last thing I'll leave you guys with is, if every single person on the call right now, and if you're watching on replay, you too, if we can all commit to, like, today, once we get off the phone right now, or we get off Zoom and we start calling clients, just commit to asking the question. You don't have to be a master. Just ask the question in the middle of that, in the middle of the presentation, and then at the end, and you guys will see so many opportunities fall into your lap, and profitability and persistency and everything increases. So let's all ask the question, and we'll see you guys next week.